moving things along, next up we have Mauricio Campuzano, a partner at Gomez Pinzon in Colombia. Mauricio advises international companies on the protection and administration of IP portfolios and competitive strategies. So moving on from real estate to IP, Mauricio is going to tell us about his use of Legito. Welcome to the stage, Mauricio.
It's not happening to me because it sounds like an echo all the time. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. If you were properly paying attention, you probably have noticed that Luigi's had my picture, and that's why he's also handsome when he was there, but it was me, actually. First of all, thank you to Legito and all the Legito crew for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here. And before starting, I just wanted to say a couple of things. I've been attending this session since the very beginning this morning, and we have been talking all the day about document activation and how to make it faster and how to produce documents and how to make it good. But I think, and it was not included in my presentation, and I'm just saying things that are not there. I think we are forgetting something, and there is something that is the most relevant thing that you need when you have to think on something like that, and it is the people. And we are forgetting the people. We have been talking about the machines, the technology, the software, how to change it, how to manage it, but we are forgetting the people. And you cannot do anything without the people. You cannot do anything with the people properly trained, but more than trained, people with their minds open-minded to changes, open-minded to the new things, to new technologies. And that is one of the most difficult things to find when you are starting a digital transformation process. That's why in our firm, we started a digital transformation process about 4 or 5 years ago. And before we were knowing what we were going to do, without even knowing what changes we were going to introduce, we decided to start working with the people in changing their attitude towards the work, in changing the way they think, trying to adapt them to future changes, trying to have them ready for the changes that we were going to introduce. And later on, or simultaneously, we were thinking in the innovation committee on what we were going to do and how we were going to deal with it. But I think you cannot forget the people. Without them, you do nothing. If they are not really open-minded, you do nothing. And if they are not ready to work with you, ready to cooperate with you in the project, you get to nowhere. About our firm, probably you're not aware of who we are. We are Gomez Pinzon law firm. We are one of the largest law firms in Colombia. Of course, if you compare us with the US law firm or UK law firm, probably we are a very tiny boutique. But for our standards, we are one of the largest law firms. We are committed to society. We work in pro bono. We have a very long-standing student training program. That's why we have a lot of young lawyers working with us and forcing us towards having the newest technologies on our work. And we are very committed to diversity and inclusion. But broader than that, we're 22 partners, have 18 practice areas, over 100 lawyers, and more than 45, now almost 50 lawyers ranked in different things. And as it was said this morning, we lawyers love to be ranked, love to be in tier 1, tier 2, hopefully never in lower than tier 2. And we have been ranking all over there. But when we initiated all this procedure, we face challenges. And of course, and it is not there. The first challenge was our partners, my partners, saying, hey, Mauricio, what are you going to change what has been working very well for 30 years? We have been successful for 30 years doing the things this way. What do you want to change it? It's working. But we needed to prepare the firm, to have a firm ready to the next 30 years, not for this year, not for the next year, for the next 30 years. And because of that, we decided to move in this direction. And what does it mean? Redesigning and optimizing the traditional services of a law firm. It is not as simple as introducing a format. It is not as simple as having a contract that can be automated. You have to change the way the services are produced, are developed, and the way the lawyers, the way the attorneys think and work. Then we have to take complex legal documents and move them into the system. And then you have a very difficult thing, and here they have said that they are so easy, that there are the APAs. That's not so easy. Integrate that within the whole legal tech of the firm. And that's not easy, and that's a complex task. It costs money, time, and pain. Then what has happened? We have automated entire legal processes. All the entire legal procedures and documents are now being produced. We have integrated them with DocuSign. Now great that we have Legito sign. We didn't have it before. We have workflows automation integrated with clients. And now we have mass contract generation using batch systems. And we have all that in place as of now. Now we have over 40 templates. To be honest, at this point, I have no idea what templates we do have. We began with something very simple, the traditional NDAs, and it has been moving towards more complex documents. And as of now, I don't know. The automation team takes care of that, and I at this point don't know. For example, I know in IP, we have worked in producing oppositions, trademark oppositions. We have worked in the labor area, working in contracts. But actually, it is so fast moving that I don't know what are all those documents that are being automated at this point in the firm. We have over 50 active users. With active, I mean people that are constantly working on this. We have, this presentation was prepared about a week or 2 weeks ago. We have almost 2,000 documents already produced with the system, and with 3 fully automated legal services working on at this moment. And we are going to tackle these 3 procedures that we have as of now. The first, before going there, no, let's jump this because I took some time to for someone else. The first case study that I wanted to present is something that for all the law firms in the world is a pain. And it is that our friends of EY, Pricewaterhouse, and companies, every 3 months, sometimes every month, sometimes every year, ask the companies to provide an auditory report, and they have to ask all the lawyers, outside counsels, to provide a certification of the current status of all their litigations or actions or claims that we are handling. And that in a law firm, it's a pain. Why? Because sometimes there are so many things that you have all over the firm that you sometimes don't even know what do you have. And before we had this, what was actually happening in the firm is that each partner took care of the cases, and they were very well handled, but we don't know what my other partners are doing for a client. And we were receiving these letters, and the partner in charge of IP took that and answered with IP things. And maybe I heard that there is something in labor, and asked the labor partner to help me. And we answered with IP and labor and sent the document. And then months later, we realized that there was also a litigation and arbitration or something else, and we didn't know, and we sent the report only stating these two things. And things like this were happening daily with hundreds of clients. And this is, as I said, this is a pain for all law firms, probably in the world. So what we decided was, let's automate this procedure, not only the document, but the entire procedure, to secure that all practice areas representing clients in litigation and civil actions and administrative actions have been involved there, and they all answer what they have. But not only this, but also keep that records of those documents in order to be able to produce a new report in 1 month, only updating the new things. So we had to automate that entire procedure, involving, again, all the firms, all the practice areas of the firm, involving all the lawyers of the firm, and involving also our accounting department, because we needed to provide also a status of the bills with the client. What happened with that? It began, what now is a success case, it began with a failure case. Why? Because let's go back to 2020, when the pandemic began. And at that moment, we have hired someone, I actually do not recall the name of the provider, to produce automation. And we have hired that company, and we contracted, and we started to work with them. To be honest, I don't recall the name. And almost in, I don't recall, like October, we went live. We finished our automation with this proceeding, and we got everything, and we went live, and we invited all the firm, of course, to a Zoom meeting, and we had all the company live, all the employees of the firm, and we announced that we had this procedure automated. What happened? We went live, and in that very moment, the platform collapsed. With 200 people connected, and we were introducing our big success during the pandemic. Obviously, no one was happy at all. And we decided to turn that platform off, and that's why I'm here. We actually met the Legito people a couple of days before the pandemic started, and we switched to Legito, and we actually changed everything and moved to Legito, and January 2021, we had it ready and forced, and we went live again and did it well, and we have this document that you have been seeing here. So what initially was a failure finished as a success story, but what is relevant there, and it is also a conclusion that it is important to have, it is that you're going to make mistakes, and it doesn't matter. It's part of learning, and these kind of mistakes are relevant because you get to know from those mistakes. And one of the learnings of those mistakes is that you have to move quickly. You don't keep trying, just move it and move forward, and that's what we did. And we landed in Legito, and we are very happy with this. And in simultaneous with this, we started working in different kind of things. And I think it was June or July last year, we said, well, we are very well prepared now. We know that this is working. And we decided to move forward into one of the hardest projects that we have started. And it is because for a corporate M&A law firm, one of the most significant products that we have is a due diligence report. So we decided to take the hardest document to produce. And with this report, I'm pretty sure that we have gone to the borders of what Legito can do. It is a huge document. It involves all the practice areas of the firm. It has already over 180 contingencies, but not only the contingency, but as a consequence of having the contingency identified as where it is now, you identify the type of risk, it says if it is high, medium, or low, and depending if it is high, medium, or low, it has different consequences, and we went down and tackled the consequences, and you're seeing now the consequence of a medium, high, and low risk. And we have this for every possible contingency that a company could have. So we are now in a position where all the due diligence report is prepared with this. And this is an advertising for the Legito people. This was finished this morning. So they have to invite me next year to tell you how it works. It is not working now, so to all the Legito team, I will be glad to be here next year again to tell you what happened with this. But it took us a year to have this ready. We involved, again, 18 practice areas, 180 red flags ready, incorporated, and I was told this morning, Mauricio, we're ready, and we're waiting for a client to hire us for the next due diligence, and it's going to be there, so we are ready. We have done some testings in sections of due diligence from the practice groups that were ready at the beginning. So we did it simultaneously, manual or traditionally, and with the system, and it is working. But now we are ready to move forward and to have it fully integrated, and that is what's going to happen within the next days to see how it worked. A third case, and my time is getting over, is a contract manager system. What happened, or what was the necessity? We have a client that is a company that is somehow a broker of influencers. And as you know, the influencers are people that are not really, how do you say it? They only chat. They are only with their iPhones chatting all the time and advising, but they are not sophisticated. They don't sign contracts. They simply announce things. And this company wanted to have a model with them that actually make them to work as a traditional advertising agency, or as a traditional agency. And also we had at the same time a ruling from the Colombian government having the influencers certain obligations when they are announcing products. So we decided, they invited us, and we took the risk and generated a contract that is currently active in Colombia and Mexico to generate the contract between the agency, the company that I'm telling you that is somehow an aggregator of influencers, and the influencer. And each time a client of our client hires them, they take 100 or 20 or 80, depends on the type of influencer, and ask the influencer to sign a contract. This is not normal, but they have them sign it. Why? Because very often they are including exclusivity clauses, they are including things like the obligation of having 1, 2, 3, 4 posts, obligations to not to do X, Y, and Z, and all those obligations were never tracked. Sometimes they only post once or twice, and they mixed it up, and they are not doing very well. So with this contract and the entire system, what the company did is actually controlling all the influencers within the platform. And as you can see in a few seconds, there is a tracking system that we have been using where they can see if the influencer has already signed, if has already posted or not, and how many posts it has, and it is controlled there. Here's where they have the client, they have all the posts, the status of the contract. So the client has a clear view of what is involved, where they are, and how they are seen. And now with this platform, they are controlling all their influencers, both in Colombia and in Mexico. In this case, they have 70 different contracts. This means 70 clients have been involved. And incredibly, it has reduced almost 60% the time in generating this and controlling this than as it was before. This is a contract management case study that I wanted to share with you, and that's all I have for you today. I hope it was interesting for you, and thank you for your time, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, so thank you very much. So I just want to clarify, when I was backstage, I heard system claps. That wasn't Legito clapping, right?
No, that wasn't Legito. Then I moved to Legito.
Okay, very, very good. All right, I was going to ask you, so many great things we've heard about Legito. Is there anything in particular you would like to see in terms of improvements or enhancements? What would be top of your list?
Yes, I think there's something that we as a client would love to see in Legito, and is to have not only Word documents, but other type of documents, like PowerPoint presentations and things like that. That would be fantastic for us as a customer, because sometimes we feel somehow tired because we had to fit, when we have done so many things, sometimes we have to try to fit a Word document within a PowerPoint presentation, or we try to adapt it. So we produce horizontal Word documents to try to look like PowerPoint. So I think it would be a great improvement of the Legito platform.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you for that. And I meant to ask other panelists and speakers too. A key purpose of a user conference, obviously, is we want to hear from you. We want to hear about future development needs, suggestions. So please, later, let's make sure we all discuss those things. But a big hand from Mauricio. Thank you very much.